Hi there, you're welcome to English with King Ife. Today we're looking at accent reduction. I'm going to be reading this paragraph that I've got right here, and the paragraph has a lot of words that many Nigerians and many people in Africa often mispronounce. So you can check where you belong and how you pronounce some of these words. You have a lot to learn, okay? So let's quickly get down to brass tacks. Adjacent to the busy street, a small restaurant displayed an advertisement for its admirable cuisine. Inside, the atmosphere was amiable, with patrons chatting over their meals. A nearby advocacy group had gathered, aiming to agitate for change in the community. Apparently, their efforts were paying off as an appellate court had just ruled in their favor, granting them the use of a new apparatus to further their cause. Now, let's quickly try and take correction of some of the words that we mispronounce. So the word is not adjacent, it's adjacent. The word is not restaurant, it's restaurant. The word is not advertisement, it's advertisement. The word is not admirable, you say admirable. The word is not amiable, rather you say amiable. And the word is not advocacy, you say advocacy, advocacy. You don't say agitate, rather you say agitate, agitate. And then you don't say apparently, you say apparently, apparently. And then you don't say appellate, you say appellate, appellate. You don't say apparatus, it's not apparatus, it's apparatus, apparatus. Further is further, further. Okay, so let's quickly try a more Nigerian accent that takes cognizance of all of these mispronunciation but still maintaining the rhythm. Adjacent to the busy street, a small restaurant displayed an advertisement for its admirable cuisine. Inside, the atmosphere was amiable, with patrons chatting over their meals. A nearby advocacy group had gathered, aiming to agitate for change in the community. Apparently, their efforts were paying off as an appellate court had just ruled in their favor, granting them the use of a new apparatus to further their cause. So let's quickly have a look at British English. It's going to have a striking similarity with the Nigerian English that we just finished now. So this goes right there. Adjacent to the busy street, a small restaurant displayed an advertisement for its admirable cuisine. Inside, the atmosphere was amiable with patrons chatting over their meals. A nearby advocacy group had gathered, aiming to agitate for change in the community. Apparently, their efforts were paying off as an appellate court had just ruled in their favor, granting them the use of a new apparatus to further their cause. And then finally, let's have a look at the American English. Adjacent to the busy street, a small restaurant displayed an advertisement for its admirable cuisine. Inside, the atmosphere was amiable with patrons chatting over their meals. A nearby advocacy group had gathered, aiming to agitate for change in the community. Apparently, their efforts were paying off as an appellate court had just ruled in their favor, granting them the use of a new apparatus to further their cause. So you can tell the difference between the British and the American pronunciation. In most cases, you find out that they are the same. In some cases, they are not. Let me quickly point out a few differences between the British and the American English. So Britons say small, Americans say small. Britons say restaurant, Americans say restaurant, restaurant. Britons say advertisement, Americans say advertisement. Britons say community, Americans say community. Then, of course, you will notice that for some words, Americans often add the R in most of the words. For example, we have words like over, Americans will say over. There, Americans will say there. Nearby, Americans will say nearby, nearby. Then we have uh, gathered, Americans will say gathered. Effort, Americans will say effort, effort. Favor, Americans will say favor, favor. Uh, further, further, Americans will say further, further. So there's got to be the R there. Americans say cause, and then Britons say cause, cause. Okay, so these are the differences between the British and the American English. There's usually no difference between someone who speaks Nigerian English with proper pronunciation and the British pronunciation. They get the pronunciation well, but the only difference is in the rhythm. If you check, you'll see that I pronounce the words exactly the same way for Britons and for Nigerian accent, but the only difference is that I stuck with a more Nigerian rhythm to read that, which is of course what we want people to do. You can speak the English language eloquently, but retain the rhythm of your local language. You can do it. It's more like music. It's not so difficult. If you choose to, if you want to, you can do it. It's not difficult. So uh, we're advocating that you learn how to pronounce words appropriately and not mispronounce English words. Because if you do, it's going to cause breakdown in communication for the most part. I'm King Ife, and more than anything, I'd love to see you prosper. Thank you. Please do follow for more.